Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Praino. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Praino.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nice early sesh for you.
Yeah, we got to get down to Jay Moore's place this morning. Recording an episode with Jim Norton. They'll be out in a couple weeks, so check that out. But yeah, early record down there today, so have to bang this out early. I want you to know, we just talked about it prior to coming on the air about scheduling for this show a little bit, but related to that, I just ate 40 milligrams of CBD because I'm trying to keep my blood pressure down this morning. And I told you before the show started, I was like, I know I've already gotten 1,000 DMs about it. People chomping at the bit to hear what I have to say about the Mets. And I've asked that we just wait about 30 minutes or so to get into it, so I don't wake up my wife by screaming.
Is it physically impossible for you to scream about it?
It's physically impossible for me to talk about what's happened in the last couple of days without getting very angry. I'll say this, not even, we'll give you a little preview. There's certainly anger and disappointment toward the Mets as a franchise in the way that they've handled the offseason thus far, but more so the fan base. We talk about it all the time, but just the sucking off of billionaires, the people who fall in line, and you deal with this, very regularly in Cincinnati, dealing with the Cincinnati people of making excuses for why things can or can't happen or do or don't happen. And, lining up to defend somebody who doesn't give a shit about anything but you giving them money just is more infuriating than losing, your favorite player on the team or whatever. Because that, when you're 46 years old, you get to a point in your life where you're just like, Gary Carter goes and plays for the Dodgers, Greg Jeffries gets traded. Like, this is something you deal with. Like, if you're a kid, some kid's dealing with that today. Some kid who probably dressed as a polar bear for Halloween is dealing with that. It's just part of sports life. I'm an adult. I'm not here crying because my favorite player's gone. That's not what I'm upset about. So, a little preview there.
It's more of the lack of well, you know what, to bring it to me, that's I texted you. I said, oh, so obviously everybody here is following the Kyle Schwarber thing since he's a local, and he's been on record being like, hey man, I have serious interest in playing for the Reds. That was my team growing up.
Yeah.
And then it plays out and you're like, oh, so you didn't want to give him an extra $5 million a year?
So, this is a big part of the whole conversation around this stuff. And the simple fact of it is Kyle Schwarber essentially wanted to play for the Phillies, and he wanted the best deal that he could get, and probably used the Reds for leverage, and probably went back to let them set the market, let Boston set the market, let whatever, and then went back to Philly and was like, are you guys willing to go to that? And they were like, we were. And he's like, cool. Don't move my locker. Don't give my number away. See you guys.
So you don't think he actually had any real interest in Cincinnati?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he very likely would have ecstatically shown up to play baseball for the Reds had the Reds offered him the most money, which is, again, one of the parts of like the frustration with Hot Stove is people acting like any of this stuff is ever about anything but money. Like, Kyle Schwarber was never. I'll tell you one thing. Kyle Schwarber was never taking some hometown discount
Yeah.
to leave a team that won the NL East last year to go play for his Reds that he's never played for, where he doesn't have a house, where he doesn't have a locker, where he doesn't have a number, because he just loves Cincinnati.
Yeah.
No one's doing this, guys. No one's doing this. And to be totally honest with you, I'm wearing my Knicks jacket today because they're the last vestige of hope I have in this goddamn sports apocalypse that I live in. But Jalen Brunson, when Pablo Torre dropped the Kawhi Leonard thing, everybody was like, Jalen Brunson next, because that's how unrealistic it is for a player to take a discount to play for his hometown or the place he plays or the place where his dad coaches or whatever. Everybody was essentially insinuating, did they circumvent the salary cap by making Rick Brunson a $40 million coach that they pay via some app that no one knows he's the co-owner of? That, like, everybody is just going, it's so unrealistic to do that it's probably fake.
Yeah, I think fans, it is amazing that there still is this weird, naive impression that any athlete would take a discount. Because I always say, why? Well, you know, the guy paying them is not going to take a discount. It's not going to, want to give a deal, so to speak. So why should the employee take a discount?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
The guy who's actually earning the money, in essence, a guy who's part of this thing that's earning the money for the billionaire. The billionaires are making these decisions, and everybody goes, it's millionaires arguing with billionaires. Pete Alonso, Edwin. I'll go to the max. I'll go to the max version of it. Shohei Ohtani, who is the richest player in the history of sports based on his deal. Shohei Ohtani. Forget the Dodgers. Take the Dodgers deal. Take the money he's getting from Japan. Take all the things. This is factually inarguable. Shohei Ohtani has a better chance in this lifetime of being on Skid Row smoking fentanyl with Andy Dick than he does of ever being Steve Cohen. It's not even close. He has 400,000% better chance of being a crack addicted homeless person than he does of one day having $25 billion in his bank account. We've seen MC Hammer lose money. We've seen these guys. We've seen guys blow. Like, why is Odell Beckham talking about how little money? Like, what are you talking? Shohei Ohtani, it would be insane to blow $800 million, but not as insane as it would be for him to one day have $25 billion in his bank account. When you guys say it's millionaires arguing with billionaires, you are clowning yourself.
It's just a bad take. It's an awful take. It's like
it's dollar heirs arguing with millionaires. Like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's just a shit take. That's all I can say about that. That's what that is. It's stupid. It's foolish. You know, this is the same way people say, "Oh, you're playing a game," and it's like, you're the top.
You're playing a game where you can get CTE and never remember meeting your grandchildren.
And also, you're the top 0.0001% of
that spent your entire life focused on practicing that game.
Yeah. Of the world. So, like, don't minimize. I hate when people minimize it as well. Like, oh, it's just a game. Just playing a game you love. It's like, well, yeah, but not everybody can do
what
that.
Joe Burrow loves is playing Pokemon. That's what he loves. He just also plays football as a job.
Do you think, we were texting last night here with one of my group chats. 2029 would be the end of that contract for him. So that's 4 more seasons.
Wow.
Does he or does he not finish that out?
I mean, we're going to go we're gonna go with a kind of a Joe Praino standard hit that we've been playing over the last couple weeks and months here. I'm basing this solely on it being the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm using no other reference point other than history tells me he does not finish that contract with the Bengals.
Well, what's interesting is obviously everybody, I was telling you before the show, I was like, I feel like everybody is now talking about this after. I'll just pull up what he said. Everybody's talking about it nationally, even though you and I have been having these conversations for years now. Here's what he said at his press conference the other day.
If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? So that's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seemed frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Football related, personally?
All the above. Like you said, there's nothing. All we can do is focus week to week and try to win games. I don't think anybody's really thinking about the playoffs right now. That's within reach, but on our fingertips. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get better.
I mean, it's pretty morbid if you're a fan of the Cincinnati Bengals. But I'll say this. The caveat. It was his birthday. We all know we get reflective on our birthday. It was his 29th birthday. So, like, he's assessing everything. That's kind of where the conversation was going in our text last night of, like, on one hand, you have, and I've said this too, on one hand, I got a buddy who's like basically saying, F him,
F him.
Basically saying, look, man, you no one forced you to re-sign. You could have, pulled an Eli. You could have pulled a John Elway when you got drafted. You wanted, and not only that, you pitched, and he did. You made the whole circuit last year during the Super Bowl to sign Chase, to sign T. Higgins, to sign Mike Gesicki, to sign Trey Hendrickson. Like, you didn't say a word about your O-line. You didn't say a word about basically the defense. So look, that's a fair point.
Well, I think there's two separate things there. Yeah, the second point we've gone in on hard. Stupid, like clueless, essentially no thought to, hey, how did every great quarterback that I watched growing up build their career? When did, how many times did Tom Brady demand an elite wide receiver? How many free agent wide receivers did Peyton Manning acquire? Eli Manning acquire? Ben Roethlisberger? All that stuff. Like, so that was just dumb and having no whatever. The first part of the equation, you could have pulled an Eli. You didn't need to. I made the joke about him playing fucking Pokemon. And we've joked about, Cody Bellinger not knowing what Seinfeld was. And we've joked about Jackson Dart not knowing that the Meadowlands is on the east coast of the United States. I'm not sure people outside of folks who have been a fan of the team the whole time, like, you got to remember, Archie stepped in and said, you're not going to the Chargers. I don't think Joe Burrow necessarily knew when he was going to be the first overall pick. Their practice facility is an old school winter tennis bubble. Wait, what was that you just said over there? What do you mean they walk across the street to practice? Yeah. And what are you saying over there? Like, I don't think, you have a long history.
He didn't know the level.
I don't think a lot of people know the level of the Bengals have never really, but like also for Joe Burrow, the Bengals were probably good for a lot of his life. They
probably were. I mean, as far as record wise, yeah. That's not even debatable. And he's from Ohio, and he started at Ohio State. So, I mean, look, here's my thing. I went through last night just out of curiosity because you haven't heard. You used to always hear the Burrow Marino comparisons. Lately, it's been Burrow, Andrew Luck, and the national media wants to talk about that because of the sacks. Which, again, to their credit, the O-line's actually played very well this year, which the national media wants to ignore. They want to cherry pick the first few years, which is fine, but like, don't ignore this year. But anyway, I looked. It's eerie. Marino's second year, he wins the MVP. They go to the Super Bowl. Burrow's second year, they go to the Super Bowl. Both quarterbacks lose. And then I looked. I didn't realize this. Dan Marino, Praino, makes the playoffs his first 3 years on the Dolphins. Then he doesn't make it for 4 straight years. 4 straight years. So, again, it really is lining up. This will be Burrow's.
And never makes the Super Bowl again.
Never makes the Super Bowl again. Never really sniffs it. So this will be Burrow's, again, they align. This will be Burrow's 3rd straight year without making the playoffs. And you're like, and then you start thinking, right? Because, you and I are fans of history of the game. And I'm like, okay, so who's playing during that era of Dan Marino? And then you start thinking about the QBs and you start thinking about who Burrow's competing against now. And it's just like, it's all very interesting. And that's why I don't know how it plays out. I don't know if he finishes his contract with the Bengals, but like, the term around here is you've been Bengalized. And everybody says like, oh, that player's been Bengalized. Like, that's the moment. That's the moment. And that's what everybody's kind of saying with this presser is like, he's just kind of, I wouldn't even say depressed, but it's like maybe reality sets in.
I've used this GIF. I had to like create the GIF because it wasn't like a Twitterable GIF thing. But one of my favorite moments in movie history, and I've used it a lot is the Field of Dreams when the brother-in-law finally sees the players. Like, when these baseball players get here, and she just kind of looks at him and laughs. When they start playing a baseball game here,
after the child saved from choking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Burrow has the whole time. People have been being like, "You don't understand. There's something happening on this field. You don't understand." And he's like, "You're crazy. You mowed over your cornfield, Ray." And he's like, you don't understand what's happening out here. And then one day he's like, "We've been playing in a bubble this whole time." And the other wife just laughs.
Yeah, and we both know when you're winning again, which was year 2 and year 3, like when you're making a Super Bowl, when you're making an AFC Championship, when you're one of the not only just the stars of the league, but also like the quote unquote chosen one, whatever whatever you want to call it, like that's how he's literally viewed, guys. I do not want to exaggerate this. Joe Burrow in the city of Cincinnati is literally like the Messiah. That is how he's viewed. And if this goes south, and there's a good chance it does, I'm telling you, I can't understate what that's going to do to the morale of like an already low fan base morale. It's just like you see.
Let me tell you what it's going to do, Andy. What it's going to do. And again, I'm kicking this down. I keep checking the clock. Has she had coffee yet? What it's going to do is it's going to send a lot of people into a rage where they're like, "Well, fuck him. He got paid fucking $50 million to be here. And oh, sorry, you had to fucking be here in fucking Cincinnati. And fucking all these fucking spoiled athlete babies. No fucking loyalty. No fucking whatever." They'll immediately burn his jersey. Carson Palmer too. Fuck him. They'll all, because at least half of sports fans, just like at least half of our population, are billionaire dick riding mongoloid losers. And I'm not, I hate to fucking I hate to bring it to politics, but
I love when Joe says that. I'm like, no, you
but
don't.
the memes are too good when it's like the memes are too good when, you know, the people are like, yeah, fucking, well, people will be like, tax the rich, and it's like, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit, and it's like under it, it's like guy who makes $50,000 a year and has to work 3 jobs, just like standing the fucking the corporate elites that literally think of him as a plebe number.
You mean
that
like the
does
Elon
their fucking
fanboys and
bidding.
stuff?
Yeah, the Elon fanboys, any of these people who are like all Donald Trump cares about is making the fucking billionaires happy and sucking them off. And some guy in a trailer park is like, fuck yeah. It's like, bro, you live in a fucking trailer. You're not the 1%. The amount of people who think they're in the 1% that aren't in the 95%. Bro, like all of you, one day I'm going to be a billionaire just like Elon. You drive a 1994 Honda Accord.
Great car, by the way. Not that there's anything wrong with an Accord.
Yeah.
It's a great car. Yeah, no, I don't think, this is just my take. I don't think there'll be as many, but there definitely will be. Like as far as Cincinnati's concerned, you know, if this goes south, but yeah, it's just like it's bizarre when you see that, and maybe he is having what you would basically call an epiphany. And look, I think, like I said, winning.
That's what I was just about to say. It's like, dude, you make the playoffs next year, it extends 2 seasons.
I totally agree.
You don't make the playoffs next year, it decreases 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We're talking about, you're saying 2029. Would you say is 4 more years?
4 more full seasons.
Yeah. They miss the playoffs next year. Suddenly it's like, it could be the end of next year.
I agree.
They make the playoffs next year. You might be like, oh, well, maybe we get to 2028. They make the playoffs the next 2 years. Yeah, maybe he finishes the contract before he's like, oh, we made the playoffs a bunch, but we didn't win anything. I'm going to X.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing with these guys now. Sports contracts are out of control. He has generational wealth.
Yeah.
What do you do this for? What's the end game? You know what I mean? And I think the other kind of misconception about sports, the similar, hilariously enough, a very similar person that wants to suck off the billionaires despite living paycheck to paycheck is the person who's never played a high level athletic competition in their whole life, who are just like, if it were me, I'd work every goddamn day like Kobe Bryant. I'd have that Mamba mentality. And it's like, bro, you have never put the amount of focus into anything in your whole life that Joe Burrow has into playing quarterback. So if one day he wants to step away, the idea that you're going to be like, fucking pussy, fucking bitch, giving up. It's like, bro, you got to smoke weed to get through your fucking shift selling cars.
I mean, let's not forget, and this will actually be a great segue to bring in the Colts and Phillip Rivers. Let's not forget, dude, they booed the Colts. I mean, what an awful look at that was. That they booed Andrew Luck, man. They booed him. They booed him for retiring.
Also, like, and that's kind of the it'll be a nice transition into us talking about Phillip Rivers. But the idea of, like, if Joe Burrow quits playing football in 2028, never to step on a field again, like Andrew Luck did, and he walks away with whatever, $200 million in his bank account, or 250, whatever the number is, it's way, way, way more sensible. And he's way, way, way more put together mentally than Phillip Rivers stepping back on a field at 44 to try to save the Colts season Like, that's mental illness. That's delusion. That's that's having an unrealistic and unhealthy tie to the sport. The people out there is like, that's how I'd be if I played sports. Never give up. If they wanted me at 45, I'd do it. Like, I wish I could go back and play high school football today. It's like, you're the one that's fucking crazy. Phillip Rivers is the one that's crazy. Joe Burrow is not the one that's crazy if he decides to stay healthy and walk off into the sunset with generational wealth.
Yeah, I've always said I have more respect for guys that do walk off, and I'd say you've seen it more with like names in the NFL.
Yeah, because they get paid now.
Yeah. You've seen it. You've seen some big name guys. You've seen an Andrew Luck. You've seen a Luke Kuechly, guys who were like, dude, I'm doing like 7-8 years and I'm like at the highest level and I'm tapping out. The Phillip Rivers thing, it's very bizarre. I mean, to say the least. He hasn't played
as bizarre as him being like a screaming psychopath that uses the word fudge instead of fuck. It's as crazy as him having 13 kids, including a grandchild now that he started, and again, this is the Phillip Rivers thing. Phillip Rivers fucks. Yeah, precisely 11 times. Like, the guy has been raising children for the entirety of his 19-year fucking NFL career. Went right into coaching high school football. Like, Phillip Rivers is mentally ill.
Well, I think, look, I'll throw a caveat out here. I'll throw a little empathy. I think it's tough for these guys when that's all they know. Well, not just Phillip Rivers, any of these guys, right? I think they retire. You're known as a football player. You're a football player. You've played since you were in grade school, high school, college, long storied NFL career. It's like they don't know, even for someone like Phillip Rivers, who's made hundreds of millions of dollars.
But everybody's kind of joking on
they don't know what to do.
Everybody's joking on the Joe Burrow Pokemon thing today. Hey, Phillip Rivers, have your, I don't know, grandson or whatever, who's somehow 14, teach you Pokemon. Like, get a hobby, dog.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is like, they don't have a hobby. They don't have other interest.
Like, he's like, oh, I mean, I literally heard this story the other day. They were like, Phillip Rivers has been coaching his son's high school team with Shane Steichen's offense. So this will be an easy transition back into the NFL.
No.
Yeah, swear to God. I swear to God.
Did you see someone post that?
Yes.
Bro. Unreal. I don't know if it's mental illness, but I'll say this. I think he definitely needs, I would get a professional, a licensed therapist to talk to him why he needs to do this. Because again, he hasn't played in 4 years. What are you doing? Saving a Colts team that's not going to go far in the playoffs? Let's call it what it is. Do you miss the game that much? You can be around the game. You're literally.
Also, you didn't have to have 12 kids. You hate your fucking family that much? No one forced you to do this. No one forced you to have some weird, I mean, I guess except God, because I don't know. It's unchristian to pull out or something.
I think it is. Got cream pie up in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that is truly how Phillip Rivers got here. He probably thinks the only reason it's godly to put my penis in my wife is for recreation.
There's a good chance he believes that.
Yeah.
Look.
So let's just start there. That's mental illness.
Well, the whole thing with him again is bizarre is the word I'm going to keep using, because I always say, what's the end game? This isn't Gronk coming back saying, hey, I can win a chip with Brady, man. Yeah, let's run it back again. Let's run it back.
Andy, this is what I'm arguing with you, though. Isn't that what he thinks?
Good question. I don't know.
When we're talking about the mental illness of Phillip Rivers,
I think Phillip Rivers in his head that like he's like, I can take this Colts team. We have Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, also, so here's what Phillip Rivers let's just cover a couple of things that Philip Rivers knows or believes. What's crazier? Okay, so Philip Rivers, we've joked about his kids historically on the show. So Philip Rivers knows how kids are made, right? Like he knows once every 15 months or whatever, he puts his penis in his wife. Sperm comes out of his dick. It goes, I don't know, into her miracle hole or whatever Christians call it. And then he knows he has to physically, like he knows
Birth canal.
He knows how to make kids, right? So Philip Rivers not only believes that he's going to come back, learn their offense, or relearn or like take the high school offense he's running. He knows the offense because he's been running it at a high school. And now he's going to come in and he's going to lead them to the Super Bowl. Crazy? Yes. He also believes God reached down with his invisible finger and touched a Middle Eastern woman's belly 2,000 plus years ago and placed inside of her God's sperm without having to do the thing that Philip Rivers does with his wife exactly 12 times in his life. And through the magic God hand, put a baby inside a woman who then gave birth to a Messiah whilst never having sex. He believes that too. And then that Messiah died.
Well, a lot of people believe that.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's.
So
I think
in a way, Philip Rivers is rising from the dead here to take the Colts to the promised land. He died for Colts fans' sins, and now after 3 years on the sideline, they've gone and checked the rock at the high school field, and he's not under there. Where did his body go? Why did we even go? Why are we even going to look for his body after 3 days? That's a wild thing to do.
Wait,
should we go check if that dead body is still there?
Is he Jesus or is he Lazarus, who Jesus raised from the dead?
I don't know.
Are you familiar with Lazarus?
I'm familiar with Andy Lazarus. I believe in Andy Lazarus, and that's the only Lazarus I believe in.
Am I going too deep with my my scripture knowledge
Biblical
here?
knowledge?
Yeah, well, I went to Catholic school my whole life. I'm deep in the scripture. Okay, so you're going mental illness, and I'm not really arguing that. It's interesting that you think he thinks he can win. And maybe he does.
He thinks all of the animals on Earth got paired up and put on a boat so that they could all remain living and repopulate the Earth because of a great flood. So listen, is Philip Rivers thinking that he can take the Colts to win the Super Bowl this year is crazy, but it's not the top 50 craziest things he believes.
I mean, look, I think I know you want to keep taking the religious digs, which I think a lot of people, probably not him, or I don't know if him, would maybe say there's symbolism in this stuff and they don't actually believe, word for word what, let's say, like Noah's Ark or whatever. Now, Philip might. He could. He very well could. Not take, hey, there's meaning to this stuff, and maybe it's a good story that you could take good from. But anyway, I digress on that. My point is, he might believe in all this stuff. I do question the family stuff. Like, why do you want to give more brain rot to yourself when you already do have grandkids? I can't recall something similar. I was trying to think, like, are there any comparisons to this in my life? A guy coming back, 4 or 5 years removed? When was the last time Philip Rivers stepped on a football field?
Well, he's eligible for the Hall of Fame this year, right? So 5 years.
Yeah, January 9th, 2021. He lost to the Colts. I'm sorry. He was playing for the Colts. He lost to the Buffalo Bills in the AFC wild card, 27-24. It's kind of sad. I'm sure you reflect. We all do it. We just talked about Burrow on his birthday. Like, I'll think about my past, right? Because I'm in a different stage of my life, clearly. And I'll be like, it's not a bad thing to think about your past. I think it's good, right? But I think he can't get over that. I think that if I would put on my therapist hat for him. It's like, dude, you had a run. It's a different stage of your life. You can reflect on your past. You can look at the good things that you did on the football field. You can remember it with rose-colored glasses, so to speak. But that was the past of your
He
life.
never won a Super Bowl. He really wants a Super Bowl. That's why he's coming back.
You're probably right.
That's why he's coming back.
But we don't even know if he's starting. I just looked. The latest update, we don't know. Now, do I, for entertainment purposes, want to see him start? Yes.
Of course.
I'm like, where is this going? What are we watching a live train wreck? Like what do they call those people? Foamers who watch the train go by?
Yeah.
I kind of want to be a Phillip Rivers foamer. I'm like, I'm tuning in.
I kind of want him to get to the Super Bowl and lose. I kind of want him to smell it and still not get it.
Savage. Who do the Colts play this week? Who do they even play? Let's pull this up. I mean, must be a dire situation for them. They play the Seahawks in Seattle.
There's a little bit of the Colts.
They're
There's a little bit of
13.5-point underdogs.
Yeah. There's what?
They're 13.5-point underdogs in Seattle.
There's a little bit of fucking Colts delusion here as well. Like somebody's practice squad player or somebody's backup or somebody's like, listen, the world knows. And I guess I don't know how NFL trading deadlines work. Are we past the trading deadline? But there's workarounds for all this stuff. You think Phillip Rivers is your best chance?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of weird things in play here. That's what's so crazy about all of it. I don't know. Wild sports week. I'll say that much. Just a wild sports week.
It's insane.
Like, I mean, what is the latest update for Sherrone Moore from Michigan? I've
been dipping in and out of this story. So here's what I know. And you can fill in the blanks. This is how much I don't give a fuck about college football. Let me just say that right now. Until yesterday or the day before or whatever, or whenever this thing, was he the current Michigan coach? Like, is he like, when did he stop being the Michigan coach?
They fired him 2 days ago.
Crazy. And they fired him essentially over this.
So they fire him from what I've followed. And again, like, same thing. Like,
and did this whole story end up breaking after the fire? They're like, it was like he's been fired, and then it was like, oh, here's why he's been fired, basically.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, they alluded to it. So he's fired.
So he had a wife, 3 kids. The chick already worked there, or he just like hired his mistress to work for him?
I think she already worked there.
She already worked there. So he starts fucking like a
cute little blonde.
What's that?
Yeah, cute, like young blonde assistant.
Yeah. Although her good pictures are a lot better than her bad pictures.
I haven't done
bad pictures. I'm like, you blew up your life for this chick? I was like, could you not just do like an Applebee's run like once every 3 weeks?
Oh, bro, he's a horny dude.
Right.
Like, have you followed all of it? Like, he is a horny dude. Did you see the OnlyFans thing?
No.
He's a horny dude. There's an OnlyFans model who's claiming, and I was actually following this thread last night on Twitter. I don't know if she's posted any more. That he DM'd her during the Ohio State game.
During the game.
Like it's like, dude, I was texting with some of my college buddies about it. I'm like, dude, just jack off, man. Like, You're a horny dude. Like, she's apparently got receipts. She's posting some stuff. She was a diehard Michigan fan, like smoking hot OnlyFans chick. Apparently he's DMing, like he's so horny, he's going in at halftime and sliding into those DMs.
So then he's banging this chick. He's cheating on his wife. He's banging his chick. OnlyFans, DMs. Then there's like he threatens to kill himself.
So he showed up at his mistress, his side piece's house.
Yeah.
He had a knife.
Because what had happened?
And he took a knife to his own throat.
Yeah. But what had happened that made him do this?
He'd just been fired.
Oh, okay.
It all came out.
So this is 2 days ago. The knife to the throat things happened since he got fired 2 days ago?
Yeah, and he was threatening her. It was the same night.
Wow.
So I think he's still in jail. He hasn't formally been charged, which is, I think they have a press conference today. If I believe, like, I don't know what I have up to date. If there's anything latest. Yeah, I mean, from all things I've seen, just a horny dude. So, TMZ, of course, like they always do, they have the 911 call. I was listening to it last night.
But now this incident is after his firing. So
Correct.
the firing is just based on like you're a horny dude. Like he didn't get fired for football reasons.
Well, here's my take, even though I don't follow it closely. I think they were sitting on this. I think the school knew that he basically
he was fucking another Michigan employee.
Yes, and they were like total mid.
And this is always, then they were just like, we're gonna hold this little trump card as like we always have that. Anytime we decide we want to fire him, we know he's been fucking
the same way the whole Epstein thing exists, right?
Yeah.
With politicians and world leaders, and they just hold it over you. Hold it over you. Hey, I got pictures of you diddling kids. I got pictures of you banging underage chicks or whatever it is. This is just my Andy Ruther theory. Right? So
I like that you separated those, by the way. That was very Megyn Kelly of you.
What?
She wanted a clear line in the sand. There's a difference between underage girls and kids.
Oh.
Donald Trump might have been fucking underage girls. He wasn't fucking kids. Don't be ridiculous.
Well, I don't know what I was doing there, but
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. You get the drift. My point is, this is just, again, my theory. Guys, I have nothing to base this off of. You can say Ruther's just putting on his tinfoil hat. My thing is they've been pretty mid. I think they're 18, or what was the record? 18-9 the last 2 years since Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of Michigan people hated him. And it's like, oh, now we have a reason to fire him.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen this. Is this true? Gene Marty Hunt in the comments. He forced his side piece to get an abortion, then gave her a raise. I think there was a parody account. I don't think it was real. There was a parody account, got millions of views. I bought into it first, posing as a reporter, claiming that he had a plan B dropped off via DoorDash.
Yeah, I did hear that. That's wild. By the way,
I think that's fake.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were like, "I never thought to DoorDash plan B." He's like, I use DoorDash more than I should. I've DoorDashed, coffee way too many times, but I never thought to DoorDash a plan B. And then I was thinking, listen, this is the one moment where I was like, I'm gonna give this guy a break. Maybe he did DoorDash some food, and then DoorDash did that like, hey, while we're out, do you want to add on anything from like CVS? And he's like, fuck, I do need a plan B. I was gonna have to go to CVS and get a plan B. So I guess send me the plan B. So do we know that she had an abortion?
I think that's all fake.
That's all fake. Now the raise thing, I also heard that, right? She went from like $50,000 to $98,000 in her job.
Yeah,
is that real?
And I don't know. I think somebody has receipts,
because that would have been the first. That would have been the very first thing that tipped Michigan. Was like, why are we giving this chick a fucking $48,000 raise? That's like when all of a sudden a bunch of bets come of somebody. Why'd somebody bet $2 million on Terry Rozier having a turnover in the first 5 minutes of this game? The algorithm's algorithming when you fucking put in a raise request for your slutbag administrative assistant.
Well,
They're like, oh, he's fucking her. Write this down.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think they knew, or like, because my thing is like people know stuff, right? Like it's not that big. I've been up to Ann Arbor actually a bunch. I used to do that. That was fun fact. That was a hotbed for the old frat comedy scene. So I've probably performed up there 4 or 5
This
times.
Netflix documentary that comes out, because they do these things now. This Netflix documentary that comes out about this in 6 weeks, From the Big House to the Big House, is going to be epic.
Yeah. Or when they do a theatrical release with John David Washington.
Yeah.
Sherrone Moore. I think he'd be perfect, wouldn't he?
John David Washington. And they get fucking Jennifer Lawrence to wear like a half a fat suit. They're like, oh, she's so brave. She got gross for this. She turned into a Midwest Applebee's waitress. So brave.
So yeah, I mean, look, it's a mess, but also I love the and I've seen obviously things like we don't stand for this, and I'm like, you guys are the school that literally had a coach going undercover on opposing team sidelines to steal signs. Like don't even get me started about like the morals or the ethics of the situation.
Yeah.
Like we're talking, you and I know, obviously, college sports. Come on. Like it's all a sham. It's all a joke.
Yeah.
But apparently
when this was all unfolding and they thought there might be a way out of it, like even money, would you bet that somebody reached out to Dave Portnoy and was like, can your people whack this bitch so we don't have to deal with this? Because
possibly
could we missile strike her? Could you get the Israeli government to drop a drone strike on her house?
Oh man, it's
she's an adult. It'd be a bigger target than you're used to.
Sorry, I'm reading into this. Yeah, so he was officially fired with cause, which is a whole thing. So they don't have to do the buyout, because of obviously the relationship. Yeah, his firing was announced just a few hours before he was arrested. So then he went on the.
So he's fired. He loses his mind. He goes over to her house. At that point, what's the killing himself going to do for the? You're fired already, bro. I don't think you. Why are you threatening your fucking side piece?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, clearly he just lost his mind.
He was running around with a knife to his throat, going, "I could play quarterback for the Colts," and they're like, "Oh, he's really, really mentally ill."
Yeah,
he's really having a mental break.
So his side piece is salary jump from $58,000 to $90,000 without a change in job title.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, look, dude.
The guy in the fucking bursar's office was like, I don't want to raise too many red flags here, but our black head coach just asked us to double the salary of his slightly overweight white assistant. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Well, you know, my theme in this, and we might have to start doing a segment just called Horny Dudes.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're DMing OnlyFans chicks apparently during your biggest game of the year. You're just a horny dude. You know, we didn't get to it last episode. We'll just gloss over real quick. It's like the Matt Barnes thing. I don't know if you guys saw this. I mean, Matt Barnes was so horny, former NBA player, he was DMing an AI chick.
And I'll say this too. It's the exact opposite type of horny you want for your football coach.
Yeah.
Like this is why Michigan has fallen off so much since Jim Harbaugh, because you have a coach who's DMing OnlyFans chicks during the Ohio State game. The coach you used to have watched Ohio State tape while fucking his wife. That's the kind of horny. You need a guy horny for football. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
are you really?
He was so horny, he was sending an assistant to go undercover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's how dedicated he
He's
was.
like, bro, I can't watch their fucking practice today. Can you just watch it and then come back to my place and describe it to me like an erotic novel? You doing fucking sex books on tape with the other team's practice? He's like, just tell me it slowly. What formation were they in when they started practice? He's like, they were in the pro set. Wow, the fucking pro set. Oh my fucking God.
I mean, look, horny dudes has been a thing since the beginning of time. I understand, but like, you got to control it. I mean, again, I'll just weave in the Matt Barnes thing real quick. Wild story. Matt Barnes was basically blackmailed to pay 61 grand because he got catfished by an AI model, a made up chick. He began communicating with some chick named Zoe on Instagram, only to discover that it was an AI generated Instagram model.
Now, I'll tell you what's really scary, Andy. So I'm assuming that there was a real person behind the AI model.
So there is. So that's the thing. It was actually a YouTuber, Tasha K. She set up all the AI, including AI generated audio and video, and she basically blackmailed him and said, "Look, man, I'm gonna expose all this stuff unless you pay me." And he paid 61 G's, and now he's suing. Like, it's all.
Here's what's really scary.
Here it is. Here it is. I hope this isn't the picture. This is the payment allegedly that Matt Barnes sent. 13 payments equaled 61.2. I really hope he's not thinking this is a real person.
I love that these two pictures, it literally looks like Matt Barnes looking at her and he's like, why is my face covered in wrinkles, but she has never had a wrinkle in her life? What is, he's like, what is your skincare routine? This is amazing. His face is literally like, how are you so goddamn pretty? This is crazy. I'm a rich athlete, but like, you DMing me is insane. You're like a fantasy woman out of my dreams. That's what his face is saying in that picture.
Again, just horny dudes, man.
What I was going to say is, you know what the scariest part of this is? What's scary, this could be like the real undoing of the world, is when the AI can do what she did itself, when they don't need the human background to blackmail and con somebody into like paying them. That's how the robots get control of the world, because there's so many goddamn horny dudes out there. When AI becomes smart enough to DM thirst traps to dudes and get them to hand over their fucking life savings.
Bro, do you, I'm just going to say something. There are so many dudes that are just so like, do you realize, like, I mean, I think we did okay for ourselves. Like, we're settled now. I think we did okay in our, let's just say, our heyday with the ladies. Like, I'm just going to toot my own horn. Like, I did fine, whatever. Can you imagine you and I? Can you imagine 20-year-old or 25-year-old Joe Praino and 25-year-old Andy Ruder walking in? There wouldn't be a dude at the bar. It'd just be all like, do you know how much you'd be walking home with 3 girls? Nobody knows how to talk to girls anymore. Nobody.
And the amount of like the horniness of like these guys and the coach and Matt Barnes and all this stuff. Dude, I was in New York City in my 20s, and we'd be walking down the street. We'd be like, oh, we're going to this place.
Yeah.
And we'd get there and there'd be like 50 people lined up outside. And I'd be like, well, we're not going there anymore. And they're like, no, bro, we have to go here. This is where all the hot girls are. And I would always be like, I don't fucking care. Like,
yeah.
this is where my horny level would max out at. I'd be like, I am literally not standing in line to fuck a girl. So I'm gonna go down the street to this fucking pub where I can sit on a stool right goddamn now, get drunk, and Just hope some of them stumble over here after. But my horniness level does not allow me to stand in a line, let alone pay someone $61,000 before I've ever met them, or facilitate paperwork to get them a raise at their job so that I can fuck them at an Applebee's in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah. I know. I mean, it's just throwing it all away. And again, it's look, it's been this way for men since the beginning of time. It really has. Like, dudes will just throw it all away.
For some strange.
And my advice to these guys is like, you know, have I made some reckless moves with girls? 100%. Or girls that I'm like, what am I doing messing with this girl? But the light bulb at some point always went off, right? Like for me, like that's what's amazing. These guys, the light bulb just never goes off. Again, we've been there. We've been in relationships. We've been in flings, whatever it is. But you're just like, what am I doing? Like, trust me, I've been there. The light bulb just does, like you're saying, doesn't go off. He's walking into the administration office being like, oh, we need to give her a raise. The light bulb is not going off. He's not going, what am I doing? Like, she's like a cute little, you know, Midwest 6. Like, bro, you make millions of dollars to coach one of the biggest schools in the country. Like, figure it out.
That's how you save the world, by the way. Remember the Joe Praino, this is a long-standing Joe Praino dirty sports thing. Like, if Joe Praino was your driver, if you were a multimillionaire athlete and Joe Praino was your driver, who was also just like kind of the reasonable person in this millionaire, he's like, I'm like, where are we going today, boss? And he's like, oh, you're driving me over to my Midwest 6's house. I'm going to fuck her before I go. And I'd be like, hey, man, I'm going to throw it out there. Like, yeah, you're the coach of Michigan, but maybe we don't wear the Michigan hat. And like, I don't know, let's hit a strip club. We can go to the VIP. You're rich. Let's hit a strip club and go to the VIP. And then you can get your nut off tonight. And then I could drive you back to your wife's house. And like, yeah, she probably wouldn't be super happy about that, but I think she'd be happier about it than if you gave your assistant who you're fucking a raise and then eventually end up at her house with a knife to your throat. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. I've been talking about, Joe the driver, Joe the fucking, fixer for years. The counterpoint to my last idea of what's going to take down society. What if we used AI for good? What if you had the AI that was like, hey, dog, you put in what you're going to do into the app. And then I tell you all the ways that this is a bad job, bad idea.
I love it.
So, you go to the little AI app and you put in like, gonna go fuck my assistant again tonight for the 40th time this month. Talk about the pros and cons. And AI is like, well, the pros are you get to put your dick in a Midwest 6 for the 40th time this month. The end. The cons are you lose your job, you lose your family, you end up in jail. Your entire existence gets lit on fire, and you will be forever a punchline, if not a criminal. You'll never work again. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that pussy. And they're like, AI's like, no. Why do you even download the app?
Yeah. It's wild, man. Absolutely wild. We talked college last episode. I'm gonna say this before we move on from this. This is where we're at, the state of college athletics. According to sources, University of Utah is nearing a landmark private equity deal to generate $500 million. This is where college sports are at, guys. PE is now getting a piece. This will be the first of its kind. Utah is going to partner with an equity firm that basically is going to pay, they're going to put $500 million in capital. And they're going to get a chunk of the money, basically. We've seen this with pro sports, like in the NFL now. Private equity can own up to 20% of the team if there's certain guidelines, but it's officially done. I mean, now that we have private equity into college sports, it's officially done.
Oh, I mean,
it's been
officially done.
it's been officially done,
Yeah.
but like this is like the last nail in that coffin.
Yeah, but the people, again, this goes back to what I was saying, and I got DMs from our fans being like, I just don't like, I like it, so like I don't, whatever. It's like, cool, like it. Just know that it's like, again, it's not real. You're like, you're spending your time and energy rooting for something. Like, again, my joke about it being the WWE last episode, I don't care if you like WWE. I don't care. I care that you don't know it's fake. That's what I care about. You don't think that this is like real, right? As long as you're like, no, I know it's just like men in tights doing choreographed ballet. Like, cool. I just like it. I like the storylines. It's like you watching a Netflix show. Cool. Okay, cool. You like that shit. I don't. That's fine. When you watch college sports and you treat it like it's real, now I'm embarrassed for you. Because we've seen and every aspect of this going back now 20 years, but now we're talking about private equity, and we're talking about how Notre Dame didn't get in because the conference is essentially paid and ESPN has a deal with them and they're making it. It's like none of it is real.
And all these things are businesses for sure. You know, the NFL is a business, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they're all businesses. But
college sports is like masquerading as student athletes.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Dude, when I heard, I about laughed when I was watching Notre Dame's athletic director, when he said that on the Dan Patrick show the other day, when he multiple times referred to them as student athletes. I just said, dude, it's laughable. Come on. It's laughable. That term is the funniest shit you ever hear.
Right.
Student athletes.
Right.
You know, it's like when they try to refine, you know, people's jobs with nicer titles. Like, you can't call him a garbage man. He's a
yeah. They're not homeless. They're unhoused.
Yeah. That's what it is to me. Oh, he's a trash engineer. You're like, what? No, he's a garbage dude. Whatever.
Yeah. Sandwich artist.
Yeah, sandwich art. No, you make Subway. Like, that's what it is to me when I hear the term student athlete. Like, you're not fooling anybody at this point. And maybe you are, actually. I shouldn't say that. Maybe you are.
Right. That's the issue. That's the issue with all, like, that's the frustration that comes with all of this stuff, which, kind of, I mean, if there's a through line from Joe Burrow to Phillip Rivers to Matt Barnes to the coach of Michigan to the people who watch college sports, it's this delusion where you've convinced yourself of this thing and you're like, no. I can win the Super Bowl with the Colts. And you're like, bro, are you okay? Well, our student athletes here at Notre Dame, bro, are you crazy or are you lying?
Yeah. No, I agree, man.
Because I know Pete Bavacqua. I've known Pete Bavacqua my entire life. I don't think he's lying. I think he thinks they're student athletes, which is, I've known him my whole life. Delusional.
All right.
It's time.
It's time.
Okay.
You can talk New York Mets. You can talk Pete Alonso. You can talk Diaz. You can talk any of this stuff.
Yep. All right. Let's go. Where do you want to start, Andy? Because it's all going to weave into one another.
You tell me. This is your team. This is your discussion.
All right. Let's work big to small, as they say. The disappointment and the anger that I have right now is mostly based in Steve Cohen being a not having the Steve Cohen fence sitting in life at this point. Steve Cohen is supposed to be the inspiration for billions and the guy who's never getting outbid. And he has 40 of a $41 million statue in your fucking yard because no one wins more than Steve Cohen. But he also wears a quarter zip and his little dad Mets hat to the games. Very dad cap style. And he's Uncle Stevie. And he's just a Mets fan. But that's the whole thing. I'm just a Mets fan, but I also have $25 billion. So because I care about the Mets, because I'm a Mets fan, I'm going to make us good because I care, not because it's a business, not because of whatever. I'm Uncle Stevie. I'm your little Uncle Stevie. And the truth is, bro, you signed Juan Soto to the biggest contract in the world last year in the history of professional sports. And you said, I am the guy who doesn't get outbid for anything. And as a Mets fan, I was like, good. This is the only way to manage a baseball franchise if you have the means. Moneyball, David Stearns in Milwaukee, this fucking thing, that fucking thing, all these ideas, build a farm system, get cheap pitching, get low cost players while they're nope, not true, all a lie. Again, the delusion, again, the fantasy world that people live in. Baseball salaries today are not fucking real. There is no salary cap. There is no saving money for another player. There is no budget. There is nothing. The idea that the Mets couldn't spend this money on Pete Alonso because then they won't have this money, that's not true. That's a fabrication. The Los Angeles Dodgers are going to win the World Series again next year because they are a ownership group whose money totals an insane number in the billions. They've already made back Shohei Ohtani's money that they haven't paid him yet because they're also like, baseball money's not real. We can now just do deferrals. Steve Cohen's decision last year to sign Juan Soto told me everything that you just said, Joe. I know that. I know that there is only one way to win in Major League Baseball, and it is to outspend everybody. It is to overpay for each and every single free agent. Everyone. Andrew Friedman had famously said, however many years ago now, if you are realistic in your offers to free agents, you are going to finish third for every free agent. There's one single way to win a World Series and be competitive regularly for a World Series in baseball, and it is to overspend to a disgusting fashion. We are how many years removed now from Bryce Harper? And at the time, I had no idea where this was going. But I clowned on Bryce Harper's $330 million 10-year deal. Or whatever the fuck it was. 13, I think it's a 13-year deal. Bryce Harper is getting paid $25 million a year. It's a fucking steal now. It's a steal. And the idea that Steve Cohen was like, I'll give Juan Soto $700 and whatever million dollars. And then the next year, we're going to penny pinch and we're going to whatever. So let's get into each and every one of these fucking situations. Did I scream about Brandon Nimmo leaving the Mets? No, I didn't. The reason I didn't scream about Brandon Nimmo leaving the Mets is if you're going to go out and get Kyle Tucker, which I assumed was the plan, you can't have Kyle Tucker and Juan Soto and Brandon Nimmo in the outfield because that's the worst defensive outfield in history. So, we're moving Brandon Nimmo so that we can go out and get a fielder to play center field that is elite defensive player. And then Uncle Stevie here is going to go do, because he's so fucking smart, he's going to do the only thing that you can do to win in baseball, and he's going to overpay Kyle Tucker and an egregious amount of money. And he's probably still going to lose to the Dodgers. But then we'll have Juan Soto, an elite outfielder, an elite hitter in the outfield. We'll have Kyle Tucker, an elite hitter in the outfield. We're going to have to overpay Pete Alonso, who at this point has earned it. He'll be at first base. We have a controllable asset at catcher in Francisco Alvarez. We're going to have to overpay him soon. And that's another part of this fucking conversation that's going to make me go fucking crazy. Extend guys when you have control of them. The Yankees very famously gave Derek Jeter a 10-year, $190 million contract 1 year before he became a free agent. The $190 million contract that George Steinbrenner gave Derek Jeter as his first big contract, he overpaid, and this is not an exaggeration, for the value that he got in return. He probably overpaid $150 million. The value that Derek Jeter gave him on that contract was maybe $40 million. But he paid him because he's like, if I pay him this much money, he won't leave. He won't even consider leaving. And baseball money isn't real. There is not some fictional amount of money that I am allowed to spend on each one of these guys. You can pay Juan Soto $700 million. You could be the Dodgers and pay Shohei Ohtani essentially over $1 billion, and you could just recoup it and defer it and whatever. It's not, there's no rhyme or reason that they don't even have to pay Shohei Ohtani the money they're paying Shohei Ohtani. It's not real. Last year in the fucking World Series, they're complaining about the Dodgers. They don't even have the highest payroll. Yes, they do. Because $1 billion of their payroll was deferred. Yes, they do. They had a landslide the highest payroll. So here's the deal. You have two options here. You can overpay every single free agent, or you can not win a World Series. So if you're an owner and you say, we're not going to win the World Series, cool. That's fine. Be the Reds owner. Where else are you going to go? You know why Steve Cohen's not going to say that? Because we aren't going to go to fucking Applebee's. There's a lot of other places to go in New York City if you don't want to go to a baseball game. There is an infinite number of cultural things to do. The Mets had holes going into this offseason. There's no fucking doubt about that. But Steve Cohen has money to fill those holes. So far, what the Mets have done, and again, I didn't scream about Brandon Nimmo leaving because I understand it. Edwin Diaz got an offer from the Mets. Edwin Diaz took that offer to the Dodgers. The Dodgers said, we'll beat it, and he left. The idea, and if you're a fan and you say, I guess Edwin Diaz wanted to leave, literally fucking kill yourself. Edwin Diaz, the Mets had the entire year, and really the entirety of the last 5 years, to extend Edwin Diaz in a vacuum. No one else can talk to you. It's illegal for people to talk to you. They could have extended him if they wanted to. They didn't extend him because they're like, we're not gonna overpay. We are going to offer him what we think is a fair value, and then we'll see if he wants it or not. Now, what they did is they played the chicken shit game that Giants fans attacked Saquon Barkley for. Find me evidence of Joe Praino on this show saying Saquon Barkley's a turncoat bitch. It'll never fucking happen because the Giants didn't extend Saquon Barkley. Then they franchised Saquon Barkley. They signed Daniel Jones in front of Saquon Barkley. And then they didn't offer Saquon Barkley a contract. They asked him to come back to them so that they could match it. Why? You didn't extend me. You tagged me. You paid somebody while I watched. Why would I come back to you when a franchise that is infinitely better to set up to win a Super Bowl offers me a deal that's better than anything you offered me? They owe you nothing. The idea that Edwin Diaz wanted to leave the Mets because he didn't take the offer the Dodgers gave him, a team that is with almost entire certainty going to win the World Series next year. So they've made me a better offer than the Mets made me. They're a better franchise than the Mets. And I'm almost certain I'm going to get a ring. Not to mention, right now it's 30 degrees in New York and it's 86 degrees in Los Angeles. Why in the world would he go back to the Mets and say, do you want to top this offer? Because we did the thing, we played his horns, and we were really nice to him, and we really and he owes us that. You are a fucking cuck for a billionaire. You're a cuck for a billionaire. He owed it to you, the fan, to come back here and get a better offer from the Mets? No. What was owed to Edwin Diaz was an offer from the Mets that the Dodgers would never top. That's what was owed to Edwin Diaz. The idea that he wanted to leave is fucking ludicrous. I didn't want my wife to fucking date other dudes, so I married her. Pete Alonso has been begging to be a lifetime Met since the day he arrived in Queens. You want to talk about AI? You want to talk about somebody riding shotgun and telling him what to do and what to say and how to act? That dude's driver deserves a fucking raise. He coined LFGM. He's the polar bear. Every fucking post game after a walk. This dude is, I just love being a fucking New York Met. I just want to be a New York Met forever. I love fucking Queens. I love the Mets. I love Mets fans. Let's fucking go Mets. The dude was a AI-generated Met. And the Mets, and all he did was show up, break the rookie home run record for Major League Baseball, hit so many home runs in 6 years. 6 years! That he is the all-time Mets home run leader in 6 seasons. The Mets refused to extend him. They made him an offer. He balked at it, rightly so, because he just got paid the exact same amount of money for 2 less years. He balked at it. He's like, this isn't my market value. Make me a market value offer. But really what he was saying, because he has Scott Boras as his agent, is make me an over market offer because baseball money isn't real. And that's what you have to do. Here's the thing that's frustrating as a New York Mets fan. Okay? I did the whole fucking song and dance last year when we signed Juan Soto. We're not the little brother anymore. We're going to fucking win. You know why I did that? Because baseball money isn't real. And the Yankee lore is bullshit. Cardinals baseball is bullshit. All of it is bullshit. None of that, that's all fanfic. What's real is money talks. That's what's real in the business of sports. And what Steve Cohen fraudulently sold us last year, apparently, is that he understood that. Pete Alonso wanted to be a Met, and all you had to do was overpay him 4 years ago. Oh, well, we don't want him going into his whatever season and this age and that age and this age. Why didn't you extend him 5 years ago? You could have extended him. You could have extended him after his rookie year when he broke the Major League rookie home run record. You give him like, hey, let's just tear up your contract right now and give you a 10-year, $250 million deal. He'd have been like, I'll suck your cock for a 10-year, $250 million deal. I played one season in baseball, and it would have been the best money ever spent. But instead, they get here, and they lose the only guy who has been ride or die for the Mets franchise in my entire lifetime. Their all-time home run leader, and they lost him. Why? They're like, he's not really great defensively, so cool. Who are you getting? And by the way, Pete Alonso transitions very nicely into being a DH. Very nicely. Oh, he doesn't. I love one of my favorite fucking scenes and memes in history. Oh, Pete Alonso doesn't want to be a DH. The Mad Men meme. That's what the fucking money's for. I don't give a shit what you want. I just overpaid you. Now you DH. Because I gave you the deal that no one was going to ever give you. Now you DH. Well, I'm not happy about it. That's what the money's for. And the problem with every fan and every owner is unless you come out and say the only chance for us to win a World Series is to overpay fucking everybody because baseball money isn't real, then you are a fucking clown. And no one is a bigger clown than the billionaire cocksuckers who fucking suck off billionaires and go, I guess Edwin Diaz just wanted to leave for $3 more million. I guess he just really needed that $3 more million. No, Edwin Diaz didn't need that $3 more million. Edwin Diaz needed to be overpaid 3 years ago. Because guess what? Baseball money's not real. If Edwin Diaz takes the money and then never pitches again, guess what? Nothing happens. You don't have Edwin Diaz on your salary cap the way the Browns have Deshaun Watson on their salary. If Edwin Diaz fucked 90 masseuses, you don't then go, well, we have Edwin Diaz's money carved out. We can't. There is no salary cap. George Steinbrenner made one of the fucking clowniest clown show signings of all time by overpaying Hideki Irabu. It was a punchline on Seinfeld. He didn't fucking blink. He's like, cool. I wasted money. I don't care. That's not going to stop me from signing this guy and this guy and this guy. Oh, I fucked up. Guess what? Fuck-ups aren't real. I left a cigarette burning next to my bed and I burned down my house. Cool. I'm worth fucking $25 billion. I'm not even going to put in an insurance claim. I'm not even going to sell the property. That house is just going to stay there smoldering forever. I'll buy a new fucking house. The idea that these guys wanted to leave. The only explanation for any of this is that the Mets have a small market GM who either on direction of Steve Cohen or because he thinks he's fucking smarter than everybody is trying to get coy with money. We don't have to spend all this money to win. If you went to Harvard and you don't think you have to spend all of the money to win, then maybe Charlie Kirk's onto something about fucking colleges. What did you do there? Baseball money isn't real. We didn't want to give Pete Alonso 5 years. Cool. You're not giving him 5 years. How many years did you want to give Pete Alonso? You wanted to give him 3 years? Cool. Give him 5. And then after 3, send him to a farm upstate and blast him like he's Old Yeller. Who cares? It's not real. If you DFA Pete Alonso, guess what? The Orioles understand that. Do you know who the Orioles are currently overpaying to play first base right now? Andy? The answer might seem obvious. Who are the Orioles currently overpaying to play first base?
Who?
I mean, the news is everywhere. I'm screaming about it. Who are they overpaying?
I'm saying Pete Alonso.
Yeah, they're also overpaying Chris Davis, who they signed to a contract 5 years ago to a 10-year deal, who's not in baseball anymore because it's not real. They're still paying him.
Yeah, what happened to him?
He's gone. But they're paying him because baseball money's not real. No one ever talks about, oh, this guy's on their fucking salary cap this year. There is no salary cap. We talked about the delusion of college football. Notre Dame is not in the fucking college football playoff this year. Not because it's because they're not in the conference. That's why they're not in. It's all fucking money. ESPN was like, you're not getting in because you're not playing the little money game that we want to play. Baseball front office management is very simple. Overpay or don't win. You are embarrassing yourself when you talk about the market value of a player. None of these players' market's value are anything close to what you're paying them. Anything close to what you're paying them. Shohei Ohtani is the one person who's made the money back. None of them are getting actual market value. And if you don't know that, then you're literally too smart or too dumb or whatever it is to run a baseball team. The frustrating part about being a Mets fan right now is that Steve Cohen made us think he got it. The Mets, bro, Juan Soto's going to be a DH in 3 years. Who gives a shit? Like, the Yankee, that was what was so fun and made me so happy last year about Yankee fan Cope. He's going to, about 8 years from now, you're going to be kicking yourself about that contract. Are they? They could just be like, go home. This money is not real. We just opened a Hard Rock casino across the street from Citi Field. It's printing money. None of this is real. There is no salary cap in baseball. If you are not overpaying for free agents, you're not getting free agents. And if you are sucking off billionaires and putting any of this onus on any of the players, you're a loser. It's the only way to win. The Dodgers are winning the World Series this year. And guess what? If they don't win the World Series this year, they're winning the World Series. I will guarantee you the Dodgers winning another World Series in the next 3 seasons. Guarantee you that the Dodgers win another World Series in the next 3 seasons. Because they get it. Overpay everybody. You're telling me some team is going to overpay Edwin Diaz and it's not going to be the Mets, but it is going to be the team who already has a higher payroll? So guess what? All that talk of last year, all the Uncle Stevie shit, you just got cucked, bro. You got cucked by the Dodgers. And you know how they cucked you? Because they're a infinitely better organization with an infinitely better shot to win the World Series. So they don't have to come over the top of your offer. They don't have to. But if they do, your player's gone, bro. That's the one thing Mets and Mets fans don't understand. And that's what made, and the same thing goes for the fucking Yankees. This is what made me say what I said last year about the Yankees. Bro, no one gives a shit about your legacy. And guess what? No one gives a shit about the Mets legacy. And no one gives a shit about the Dodgers legacy or the Giants or the Cardinals. None of it fucking matters. People are going to the Dodgers for the now. Because they won the World Series the last 2 years. And because they offered him more money. That's why people are going there. What is the history of the New York Mets? They have 2 World Series in the entirety of their franchise. They're LOL Mets. You have one chance to get free agents. Overpay them. That's everybody's. The Cincinnati Reds didn't get Kyle Schwarber because they didn't go so far above the offer that the Phillies were like, fuck that, dude. They're on one about this like hometown boy. Just offered him $200 million. We were going to pay him $150. If he had come back and said they went $155, maybe we would have got $160. They went $200. They're on some hometown boy shit. And then the Phillies would have been like, and then Kyle Schwarber would have left. That's baseball. You have to grossly overpay. Guess what? The Orioles grossly overpaid for Pete Alonso. Now he's their first baseman. And the Mets didn't grossly overpay Pete Alonso. So now their first baseman is a platoon between Mark Vientos and Jeff McNeil, who they can't get rid of because for some reason they extended him. But they didn't extend Edwin Diaz, and they didn't extend Pete Alonso, and they didn't extend Jacob deGrom. They didn't extend any of the guys that they should have extended because they were fucking penny pinching money. And people did this with deGrom, and I flipped out about it with deGrom. I guess he wanted to leave. Let me ask you something, Mets fans. What's more concerning? That you don't have a fucking roster, or that by your standards, every single guy on the team wants to leave? I guess Jacob deGrom wanted to leave, and Edwin Diaz wanted to leave, and Pete Alonso, who screamed about wanting to be a Mets fan for life for 6 full years, wanted to leave. I guess everybody just wants to leave. Here's what you should realize. That's not better than we lost them because we didn't pay them. That's the reality. We didn't overpay them, so they left. That's the reality. But if your theory was real, it would be worse. Everyone who ever played for the Mets wants to leave. This is your cope. This is your cope. This is your delusional fucking cope. Everyone that's ever played for this franchise needs out. This is your defense of your team. Overpay or lose. The Juan Soto signing told me Steve Cohen got that. Turns out he doesn't. And it's probably because David Stearns convinced him that that's not true. And David Stearns is wrong. And David Stearns should light his Harvard his Harvard fucking diploma on fire. Because that ain't analytics. That ain't science. That ain't some fucking economics class. That's just straight up common sense. There is no salary cap. Pay the most and win. That's it. It's not that hard. Now, you live in Cincinnati, and you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, kind of. They're not going to do it. There's an arms race. The United States and Russia were in a race to the moon. Denmark wasn't involved. Brazil wasn't involved. Because people from Denmark are dumb? Because people from Brazil don't understand rockets? No, they didn't have the money. That's why those two things were in a race. The Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox. You're going to win the World Series every other fucking year, every third year for eternity until baseball has a salary cap, which is the other fucking thing. The audacity of not overspending in the days before a salary cap, which is coming because no one likes this, is even more delusional. So the Mets are going to stink. and they saved me 600 hours of baseball watching and $3,000 in fucking merchant tickets. Play the kids. How about kill yourself?
You'll still watch.
I probably won't. Andy, I've done this before, and I'll do it again. Here's the other. Here, let me just talk about one other thing, because there's a lot of different shithead Mets fans, and I'm just like so disappointed in Mets fans with the way, again, they went to the getting cucked by a billionaire role. But there's also the wait and see Mets fans. Well, we don't know what they're going to do the rest of the offseason. We don't know if they're going to get Kyle Tucker. We don't know if they're going to get Alex Bregman. We don't know if they're going to get. Guess what? We needed a third baseman anyway. So getting Alex Bregman fills a hole that we had. We needed another corner outfielder that could fucking mash. So getting Kyle Tucker fills a hole that we already had. Signing Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker does not impress me much, to steal a fucking phrase from Shania Twain. Because now you need a first baseman. And now you need a DH. And now you need a closer. So making 3 holes and then filling 2 of them doesn't impress me. So you wait and see, Mets fans. We don't know what's going to happen the rest of this offseason. Maybe they're going to go out and get Fernando Tatis. Maybe they're going to go out and get whatever. Cool. Unless they get Vlad Guerrero or Freddie Freeman or Matt Olson, you've just downgraded at first base. And why did you downgrade at first base? Because you wouldn't overpay. Which is insane, because the only chance of winning in baseball is to overpay. So take your let's wait and see how the rest of the offseason plays out and shove it up your ass and jack it around while you jerk off in the cuck chair watching Steve Cohen fuck your life savings away that you're going to spend on fucking baseball tickets. And invest it in a casino, which is going to make him so much goddamn money that you'll never, a 1 year of money from Steve Cohen's casino that he only now is going to own because of owning the Mets will be more money than most every Mets fan bloodline will ever make in history.
So you're out on Steve Cohen.
I'm out.
I'm fucking with you.
In a sense, yeah, because here's the thing.
That was your guy, Praino.
He got it last year. Somebody convinced him that he was wrong. Somebody convinced him that that wasn't the way to do it. I don't want the Mets to have not the richest owner in baseball. Okay? So here's what's important. Joe Praino becoming the owner of the Mets does not solve anything, because Joe Praino has no money. The guy who owns the Cincinnati Reds becoming the owner of the New York Mets solves nothing, because the owner of the Cincinnati Reds has closer to Joe Praino money than he has Steve Cohen money. The owner of the Orioles, who just took Pete Alonso by overpaying him, becoming the owner of the Mets, does nothing for me. Mark Cuban becoming the owner of the Mets does nothing for me. The Mets have a positive outlook for the future. Still, for one sole reason. They have the richest owner in baseball. We talk about the driver that these NBA players should have. We talk about the AI bot that the Michigan coach should have. Steve Cohen, you want to win? The Mets want to win? Hire me to sit in the spot in Steve Cohen's office that the blonde chick sat in the Michigan coach's office. And I'll just go in and I'll close the door behind me. I was like, you gonna let the fucking Dodgers cuck you again today? You're gonna let the Dodgers cuck you again today? Mr. fucking Steve Cohen, the inspiration for billions. Oh, the Mr. fucking he breaks SEC rules and should have probably gone to jail because he doesn't give a fuck about rules. He just cares about winning. You're gonna let the Dodgers cuck you again today? Are they gonna put a ball gag in your mouth when they cuck you? They can make you wear a little French maid outfit? No, they're not. Okay, I'm gonna go sit back at my desk, and you're gonna sit in here and think about whether or not you're gonna get cucked by the Dodgers today. And the Mets will have an infinitely better shot to win the World Series next year. If they give me $98,000 to walk in Steve Cohen's office every morning, give him a cup of coffee and go, are you going to get bitched today again?
Sorry, bro.
I'm mostly pissed at the fans. I'm also pissed at fucking Mets management. And in the end, it goes back to what I've always been pissed about, which is baseball needs a salary cap and a salary floor if it wanted to be competitive and if it wanted to be taken seriously. It's probably not going to happen. And if that's the case, that's fine. Because I'm a Mets fan and we have the quote unquote the richest single owner in baseball, which obviously we don't really have the fucking richest owner in baseball, but we have one of the richest owners in baseball. So that's good for me, but not if he doesn't know that's the only way you can win. And take your, let's wait and see what happens. Kill yourself if you blame these players. Kill yourself if you're saying wait and see what happens. Kill yourself if you don't know that the only single way to win in the major leagues with consistency is to overpay. Grow up and realize all those things, or stand outside Major League Baseball offices with a sign that says salary cap now. That's it. The fence sitting is a joke. I'm embarrassed for all of you. Well, I think the Mets made a really good decision by letting Jacob deGrom go. Did he pitch for the vote? Guess what? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Texas Rangers won the World Series that year. That year. Because the Texas Rangers said, we are committed to winning the World Series. Not a single fucking player that is on the Mets roster right now watched Edwin Diaz leave and watched Pete Alonso leave and said, Steve Cohen's committed to winning World Series here. Not one. Not one. Everybody who was in a Rangers uniform under contract for the Rangers, when they hired Bruce Bochy, they signed Jacob deGrom, and they signed Corey Seager, said, we are trying to win the World Series this year. That's what we are trying to. Everyone said that. Did Jacob deGrom end up staying healthy? No. But no one ever doubted that they were trying to win the World Series. Zero people with a brain think that the Mets are trying to win the World Series in 2026. And if you're a Mets fan out there saying that the Mets are trying to win the World Series in 2026, you are so unbelievably stupid that I am embarrassed for you. And I have been embarrassed for you the whole week. I am embarrassed to be a Mets fan this week. That is the overwhelming sense for me this week. I am embarrassed to be a Mets fan this week. Mostly because of other Mets fans.
All righty. Well, we have some football talk if you want.
Yeah.
Before we do that, epic Joe Praino rant right there. A little early, but you know what? My advice to you is to crack open a Miller Lite. Take the load off. Not you can do it now. You don't have to, but I'm saying you can do it tonight. You can do it whenever. You know, it's that time of year where you're sitting at home. It's the holiday season. Just bust open that cold Pilsner. Bring in those holiday vibes. He's got the Miller Lite shirt on. cold beer, watch some December football. Be some real cold games, some real snow games this weekend. Do it all up, Joe. Share the memories. I'm sure you have lots of Miller Lite memories throughout the holidays in your life.
All the good ones.
All the good ones. Nothing but good vibes with Miller Lite, guys. It's also the 50th anniversary, another thing to celebrate. So you should make this your most memorable holiday with some Miller Lite. Bring the crew over, bring the boys over, watch some games. Rehash the old. I love doing that. Rehashing the old high school, college, grade school memories. I got some great chats going on. I'm like, we should all get together. We should all celebrate together. The best holiday beers are the ones you don't expect. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Okay. We can mow through these here.
Since we did our last episode, I want to ask one thing about football. I know we are in a rush here. I want to ask you one thing.
It's not a rush, but yeah, but more for you. I get it.
We ready to have the Jalen Hurts conversation yet?
What is the Jalen Hurts conversation?
I don't know. He turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game.
He's not good. He's good, but he's not great. He's not a great quarterback in the NFL. In fact, I would argue that he's single-handedly the reason that the Eagles aren't good this year. And everybody wants to argue with that. It's fine. The offensive coordinator. It is now being reported by a lot of people that their offense is as simple as it is because of Jalen Hurts.
I struggle with Jalen because there's times I really like him. And I've never said he's great. I agree. And there's times I'm like, as in Monday, where you're like, what is happening? Did you forget how to play football?
No, he didn't forget how to play football. This is why Eagles fans should be extremely worried. He didn't change anything. He's doing the exact same thing. This is a fast-moving league.
It is. I mean, they had a running game. That's a
And
big
they don't
thing.
now.
And they
They
don't
have
now.
like 9 plays.
It is a fast-moving league.
And people get tape on you. And that's that. And the kryptonite is if you're like, yeah, well, people might have tape on us, but I still don't want to change anything because this is what I'm comfortable doing. The wheels just coming off, like no interceptions the whole year, then like 2 a couple weeks ago, and then 4, and then
I don't know.
go
I mean,
ahead.
he definitely needs a bounce back game. That's for sure.
And he might get one because I don't know who they're playing this week.
Well, he good chance he does. He's at home against the Raiders.
Although Pete Carroll probably watches tape.
I mean, look, I'm not out on him. He just won the Super Bowl MVP just last season. I'm gonna let this year play out.
Okay.
But yeah, he's not playing well right now. That's for sure. No,
He had
no
2
argument
turnovers
there.
on 1 play.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Before I was born.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. That was a spectacle to see. And that's a game, it's all Philly fans. It's all Eagle fans there. It's a very winnable game. I heard Justin Herbert. Tough loss last night, by the way, for the Bucs. Tough loss.
I didn't get to watch any of that game.
Tailspin, bro. They're up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
So where do the Bucs sit in relation to like the Panthers at this point?
The Panthers win. The Panthers are in first.
The Panthers win. The Panthers are in first.
Bucks are 7-7. Bucks started 6-2.
It's crazy.
1-5.
I mean, did that coincide with us going through every single quarterback we'd take
No.
Baker Mayfield over?
We did that way early on. And for the record, I was discussing with my friends last night. I'd still trade Baker straight up for Joe Burrow, solely based on injuries.
Wow, that's wild. That's taking it further than you trade him for him.
Yeah, I would, based on injuries.
Do we know Baker Mayfield's feelings on Pokemon?
We don't, but he's already lived in this great state of Ohio. I think he can come back. There's more than one Applebee's.
That should be the new Ohio State slogan. It should be at the bottom of license plates. Ohio, there's more than one Applebee's. All right, let's pick some games.
Let's do it. Let's mow through these. Okay, Ravens, Bengals. We will start here in Ohio. The Ravens, I don't know if it's going to factor in. It's going to be extremely cold. I heard nobody's going to the game. My brother was bitching. He's forced to go for work. A high of 16 degrees that day. So it's going to be hovering in the below teens, the single digits. Cold day here. Baltimore's a 2.5-point favorite. Talk about guys who forgot how to play quarterback. Lamar Jackson. Do the Bengals sweep the Ravens this year? Or do the Ravens officially end the Bengals season and put them at 4-10? This is a tough one for me to pick because it's like, who are we going with here? The Ravens still have a very good chance to win that division, even though they're 6-7. And Baltimore's, that's an interesting line, right? Baltimore 2.5 favorite on the road. They just got smacked by the Bengals at home on Thanksgiving. I don't like what I see in Baltimore. I think the Bengals win and cover.
I'm going to take Baltimore. I think the dream ends tomorrow, Sunday.
Okay. Chargers, Chiefs. Another very interesting spread here. I assume it has something to do with Justin Herbert's broken hand. It's in Kansas City, but the Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites.
Wow.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Same.
All right, Bills, Pats. This one is in Foxborough. These are some interesting spreads this week. Patriots won earlier, as we know. I believe did that kickstart their, or is that the middle? Did that kickstart? They started 1-2. They've won 9 straight.
Yeah.
I think it kickstarted their big winning streak. Buffalo's a 1.5-point favorite in Foxborough.
And I like it. I'm going to take the Bills to win and cover.
I agree. I like it as well.
I love that you're like, this is an interesting spread. I'm like, no, we both like it.
All right, Commanders, Giants, 2 shitty teams. It met. This one is in Jersey. The Giants are 2.5-point favorites. Bro, they didn't even score a point last week, the Commanders. So they bounced back. Commanders win and cover.
Giants shouldn't want to win this game at all. We're gonna go more sports lunacy. If you're rooting for this team to win, you're stupid. You don't want to win this game, and for that reason, they will. Giants to win and cover.
All right, Raiders, Eagles. We talked about it earlier. Philly's 11.5-point favorite at home. That's too big of a spread for me. I'll take the Raiders.
Same. I think 11.5-point spread for the Philly at all. Jalen Hurts got picked off 4 times by the monster from Monsters Inc. last week.
All right, Jets, Jags in Florida. Jags are 13.5-point favorites.
Way too big. Jets.
I agree.
Jets. Jets.
Way too big, Jets. This could be an interesting game to put a few bucks for an upset special.
The Jets?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. A little value play.
I think there's a value play here for sure. Cardinals, Texans in Houston. Texans, man. Win this, they're at 9-5. Texans are 9.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. I still think it's too much. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Same. Spreads are crazy.
Yeah. I like the Texans score that much. Ooh, good one here. Packers Broncos in Denver. Packers are 2.5-point favorites. Broncos
In
are coming off.
Denver.
Broncos are coming off a bye. So here's some fun little numbers for you. Broncos are 6-0 at home. Packers are 4-1-1 away. So both strengths, it seems, the way they're playing this year.
I'm not super sold on the Broncos. I know that's I know that people are like, Bill Parcells, they are the record or whatever. But I'll say this. The Packers are too up and down for me. And so I think the Broncos win and cover.
No, Broncos winning streak ends. Packers win and cover. Go to 10-3.
You said are the Packers favored there?
2.5.
Wow. Yeah, give me the Denver money line.
Yeah. All right, Lions Rams, another good one here. This one's from SoFi. Big spread, Rams 6-point favorites. I'm going to take the Lions to cover.
Yeah. Same. I think the Rams win this game, but 6 seems crazy.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Panthers Saints. Again, if the Panthers win this, they are in first place.
And that should scare us, right?
Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. The Saints just beat the Bucs on the road. That was a sloppy game last week.
Where is this game?
It's in New Orleans. I'm taking the Saints to win and cover.
The Saints?
Yeah, I'm going to keep that division just bad.
Wow. I think that is I'll take the Panthers, but I don't love it. I could see the Panthers winning this game and being in first place. That would be nice. It'd be fun. The Bryce Young is dead fans will suddenly be like, now what?
Okay, Titans Niners in Santa Clara. San Fran is 12.5-point favorites.
12.5.
Titans won last week. They're trying to get out of that number 1 draft pick, apparently. I could see a blowout for sure. But it's a big spread, man. I'm gonna take the Niners to cover.
I'm gonna take the Niners as well. I feel like the games that the Niners play like this with a big spread, I don't feel like it's ever, you're not going, oh, it's a blowout. But they just like excitedly win 24-10. You're just like, well, they covered.
Yeah. Okay. Colts Seahawks 13.5 in Seattle. Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites. I don't know who's starting. Seahawks are blowing teams out. You're up first on this one.
I'll take the Colts just simply because they're going to run the ball. I just think it's going to be a low scoring game because they're like, we don't have a quarterback. It's either Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers. I think they play keep away. I think that the Seattle Seahawks win this game easily, but I think it's low scoring and therefore that spread's too big.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. I'm going to take the Colts to cover. All right, Vikings Cowboys Monday Night Football in Dallas. Dallas is a 5.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Vikings to cover.
It's in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vikings.
All right, Monday night one. Again, huge playoff implications in this one. Dolphins Steelers in Pittsburgh. We don't know TJ Watt's status. I don't know if that matters. He went to the hospital for a lung issue.
They punctured his lung with like a needle or something. Is that this is some sort of self-inflicted wound?
Is it?
I think so.
He's unlikely to play. Well, I don't know if they punched. He said he was feeling discomfort, so he went to the hospital.
What is the spread in this game?
It's 3 Pittsburgh.
I could see Pittsburgh losing this game, Baltimore losing, and the whole fucking division being. I mean, I picked Baltimore to win, but I could see it just everybody.
Then there's a chance for the Bengals.
Yeah. Which, if I went to Joe Praino historical play, it would be Bengals continue to get their hopes up only to have them dashed eventually.
Did they puncture it? Did the Steelers puncture it?
That's what I was like reading. I mean, I don't know. Sound like it was something that happened while he was at the facility.
Jesus. I didn't see that part.
Aaron Rodgers is like, this is why you don't let anybody poke you with needles, bro.
Early reports from I don't know. I'm gonna take the Steelers. I don't like it at all. At all. But I'm gonna take the Steelers.
I'll take the Dolphins.
I think if the Steelers win this, it's that they're really in the driver's seat for that division. I still have at the Lions, at the Browns, Ravens at home. Maybe not. I spoke too soon. Okay. There we are. Week 15. Damn. Only 3 more weeks after this. Yeah. All right.
Well, follow me on socials at Joe Praino. That's all I got for today. I got to go.
All right. Get out of here. All right, guys. Have a great week. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Monday. And as always, stay dirty.